Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at the single crochet stitch, but specifically working into the back loop only, which is required in some patterns and gives a nice texture. And we'll also look a little bit at working into the third loop. So first of all, let's have a quick look at the anatomy of a single crochet, because that will help us to know what we are doing later. So on the front side of a single crochet stitch, as you are working it, the row will look like this, or the stitch will look like this. You'll have this little V. One side will be pointing slightly to the right and one side will be pointing slightly to the left on each of the stitches. So we have V, V, V. And then on top of each of these will be 2 loops. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And these 2 loops at the top are what we would usually insert our hook into, what we would work into for a regular single crochet stitch. But for the back loop only, we're just going to be working into this 1 loop. So instead of inserting our hook into 2 loops, we'll be inserting it in just 1 loop, and it'll be the one at the back. So that's how a single crochet stitch looks from the front as you are working it, facing you. If we turn the work around, on the back of the stitch, it looks slightly different. We still have a V, but it's kind of upside down. So V, V, V. And then we also have this extra little loop here, which is the third loop, but we'll talk more about that later. If we tilt the work slightly forward, we can see we still have the 2 loops on the top here. And these 2 loops are what we would usually be working into for a regular single crochet stitch. But we're not going to do that today. Oh no, we're just working into the back loop only. So if we were working along in this direction, we would tilt the work forward, we would ignore this front loop, and we'd work into just this back loop only. So let's do it for real. So to start off working in the back loop only, we're going to tilt the work a little bit forward so we can see the 2 loops of the top of the stitches clearly. And instead of working into 1 and 2 like we would regularly do, we're just going to go into this back loop. So picking up just 1, or inserting our hook into just 1 of the loops, the one at the back, and then just making a single crochet stitch as usual. Hopefully it's going to get a little bit easier to see. So we have our work, bring it forward, tilt it forward towards you. Here are the 2 loops, and you just want to work into that 1 back loop only. Make your single crochet as usual. Okay, so finding it again, here we have the 2 loops that we would usually work into. Ignore this one at the front and just go into that one at the back loop only. So do it again, tilt forward, pick up the back loop and work it as you would a regular single crochet. So I'm going to go along the row here. And then at the end, I'll be able to show you the texture. Tilt forward, find the 2 loops, pick up that 1 loop at the back, make a regular single crochet. 2 more to do. So the last stitch, we find the 2 loops, work into the back loop only. I'm going to chain 1 to finish my row. So you can see the effect it's had on the work. Below here there's 4 rows of regular single crochet, which are beautiful but kind of flat. But now we've worked into this back loop only. If you can see, it's made this pretty textural ridge here, which gives a little bit more character to the work. So I hope you can see that. And then we're going to turn over in a moment and work the next row. So let's do 1 more row together just to get it really clear. So I'm going to tilt the work forward. This is the first stitch, always the trickiest one to find because that's my chain 1 for turning the row. So 1, 2 loops, I'm going to go into the back loop only and make a regular single crochet in there. Tilt the work, 1 loop, 2 loop, front loop, back loop, working into the back loop only. Let's work along this row of 8 stitches, tilt forward, 2 stitches, 2 loops, sorry, going into the back loop only. So it's only a small change in how you work the stitch, but you will see that it gives a really nice texture, and you can make a ribbing with this or just add extra texture and interest to whatever project you are making with single crochet. So that's 8 stitches done. You can see we've created this pretty ridge again, this textural ridge, and I'll show you on the other side, the side we first worked on. So there's the ridge we created from the previous row, sorry. And you can see that on this row, we've created a sort of valley, a kind of dip. And when we add more rows to it, we're going to kind of get this undulating effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work a few more rows in the back loop only and then show you the result once we've built up the rows. So I've completed, or I've worked a few more rows just to show you how it builds up and what effect it creates on the work. And you can see if I hold it like this, we've got these really pretty troughs and peaks, high points, low points, and it creates this really pretty kind of ribbed effect. It looks great. Vertical, it looks lovely. Horizontal, so depending on what project you're doing, it can be a really simple but effective stitch to create more interest in your work. And then I just also want to show you the third loop of the single crochet stitch. So if we turn to the back of the work, so this is how the stitch looks from the back. So as we're working, as you're actually crocheting, it's always going to look like this facing you with this V and the 2 loops on the top, but the back of the work will look like this. So it'll be the upside down V and this extra loop here, or this third loop here. Now if you're working in rows, you can work into this to create a more pleated effect. So I'm just going to turn my work around like this. So if I was going to work into the third loop only, I would completely ignore the 2 loops on the top of the work, and I would put or insert my hook into this third loop only. The first stitch is always the trickiest, so sometimes I would use my nail to kind of grab hold of that third loop, and then just make a single crochet as you usually do. The second stitch is a little easier. So if we tilt the work forward, we can see the 2 loops on the top, but we're just going to ignore those and work into this third loop, the one that's sitting like a hat on top of the upside down V. Okay, so we'll slip that onto the hook and then work a single crochet as usual. Upside down V, slip the loop onto the hook and single crochet as usual. So I'm just going to work across my 8 stitches of the row. Sorry, I'm aware that the light is changing, so I hope you can still see this clearly. So we have the upside down V, the little hat sitting on the top. Insert your hook into that third loop and single crochet as you normally do. Upside down V, insert your hook into the third loop, upside down V, insert your hook into the third loop. So I'm going to chain 1 to finish the row. So the front side or the working side looks like this, but if we turn the work, you can see we've created this really pretty pleat across the work. And if you continue to do that row to row, you'll get this different effect of ribbing that looks really, really attractive. So I've completed a few more rounds in the 3rd loop only, and this is how it's come out. You can see it's created this beautiful pleated ribbing texture. It's really, really beautiful. And I'm going to show you how it compares to the back loop only. So these rows are back loop only, and you can see it's more of a ridge effect, whereas the 3rd loop only here creates more of a pleated effect. The back loop only, I would say, is more elastic. It has more stretch. And the 3rd loop only creates a slightly tighter stitch, a tighter texture. So that's something to consider if you're going to use either of these stitches in any of your projects. So I hope that's been handy. I hope that's been a useful video. Thank you for joining me in the garden, and wishing you happy making on your next project.